There you go. See something
Okay, I
there?
got it. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so the theme of this webinar is the masculine energy of a man that's adored by women. And we're going to dive deep into that topic. One of the things I've been liking or enjoying doing with Zan lately, I'm trying to get the lighting right here. Yeah, it's good as good as I'm going to get it right there. I've been doing with Zan lately, and I really want to continue to do with a lot of my interviews, is diving deeper into a single topic rather than trying to cover Zan's wide spectrum of things he's learned and experienced. Everybody does that, right? We talk about your whole experience and how you do what you do. And I love this idea that we kind of played with in Bucharest. We take one topic and drive deep down into it. If you guys haven't seen the 4-part series we did with Zan, definitely check those out. It was a really fun series. I really enjoyed doing it. So in this case, we're going to be talking about the masculine energy of a man that's adored by women, and it's something you write about in your book, The Alabaster Girl. And I'm just going to let you kind of play with that a little bit and start off. What does that mean to you?
Specifically that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my whole book was trying to capture the spirit of that. I spent my whole life trying to observe and sit in the energy and wonder about the spirit of men who have women in their life. What do they do differently? Without going, initially you think it's all the techniques and something they're wearing or the things they say. And then what I learned in my years of studying the craft, so to speak, is that it's there's a way that they vibrate. I also say it. There's an energy they have. So I try to capture that in words in my book, The Alabaster Girl. It took me 10 years to write it, and that's all I was writing about. Was like, that wasn't really, even though it's a book about women, it's really a book about the vibration that women respond to in men, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's interesting because we were doing a video yesterday, or a series of Instagram videos, the 7 natural laws, which is laws that apply to everything and how everything works. And one of the laws is the law of rhythm. And if you go out in life and you look at life, everything has a rhythm to it. Like surfing has a rhythm, music has a rhythm. Even whatever business you choose to build is going to have a rhythm and cycles within that business, and within the marketing of it and the product of it and the sales, and men and women have a rhythm. And I can't tell you how many guys I think are trying to violate that rhythm all the time, and it just won't work. I mean, you can't violate it and succeed. You've got to work with the rhythm.
Yeah, I talked to a guy yesterday that he says, I go on a date with a girl or I meet a girl and I always get into this banter. He says, I find myself getting into what he called banter. He meant by that, he gets into the initial fun approach that he might say or give, and then she responds, and then he switches over to, so do you live here, and how long have you lived here, and I've lived here for 10 years, and where do you go to school? He gets into this, his energy drains into this rapport type of normal conversation.
That's
that. This is spark. And what I explained to him, because it's true, is as soon as you dribble yourself down into that kind of a conversation, there's no vibration from you anymore. There's dead air. It's just dead. And you can feel it. You can feel it. You're just saying words. She's responding. You're saying more words. You're getting less and less connected. There's more distance, and it's a downward spiral you can't get out of. And the whole thing, like you said, Brian, is a vibration. So there's a rhythm. There's an absolute rhythm when you're injecting yourself into the space of someone you haven't known before, the girl, and you say hello, and it's you give her space to respond, and you move in, and you give up, virtually moving in. I move physically because that's just me, but you don't have to. You can be the strong silent type who's James Bond, and still your eyes have a rhythm to them. Your smile, where you nod your head, it's all a vibration that's forced or shape shifted towards her. It's so interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're really going into more of the sub-communication, which I love that you're doing, because I love sub-communication. And I know exactly what you're talking about. This guy you're talking about that you just described, paying attention, like I'm supposed to do banter first. This is the rules. And then I'm supposed to do this deep rapport where I start asking her about herself. That's his system. And rather than what you're saying is where is she at right now? And what does the moment want? What does the feeling want right now? And is the energy high? And then I'm trying to force it to go low at the wrong time. Where's the energy going? And can I play with that energy? Can I dance with that energy? Is that kind of what you're saying? The way you're saying it?
Yeah, it's like as soon as like it's there's a recovery happens in there. As soon as I feel like the energy is draining down into this normal conversation, I announce it and break it. I announce it mid sentence. I say, "Wait a minute, this is dumb. I don't want to talk about this. I just met you. I want to like know something about you. Let's go get some ice cream. I understand who this girl is. We started to go down this path. I don't know. That's not interesting to me. Small talk.
Well,
So I announce it.
let's take a look at that. What's the difference between, in your mind, what's the difference between normal conversation? Like you could say, do you live here in a normal way? But then you can also ask the same question in a playful way, right? Or how do you see it? What's the difference for you in this normal, boring conversation and the way you do it?
If you meet a girl and she's at a library, say, or bookstore or something, she's lonely and she's open, receptive to meeting a guy, and you ask her questions, do you live nearby, and which is your favorite coffee shop, it can be very good for you. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but in the majority of cases, for sure, it becomes this yes no of her answering your in boring conversation questions with yes no, and there's nothing engaging in it. And my whole thing is like the whole thing should be fun and playful. You could say the same things. You could ask her where she's living, but it should be fun and sparkling and playful and energetic and a real curiosity in your spirit. There's got to be an aliveness in you, and not a woodenness. If you can, like I tell you, the guy I was coaching yesterday, his whole thing is he's creating this new type of psychology or philosophy for changing the world in his work. And when he talks about he's on fire, he's lit up, he's like this, and he's so devoted to it that when he goes and talks to girls, it's like a side job for him. So he erases that from him, and he says, okay, now I have to be in girl talk mode. So where do you live and how long you've lived here, sort of thing. And his whole personality disappeared. What he loves doesn't show up in his eyes and his voice and everything. I said, talk about what your vision is. Talk about, be that guy. So it's to bring forth what we're excited in life about when we talk to a girl. And you should be excited about this too. Maybe you won't, but I'm excited about it. So that's cool to me. You know?
Yeah.
As opposed to switching into this guy who now has to be normal and interesting and talk about mundane things.
Yeah. We always say that you got to be a little turned on for the girl you're talking to, or the idea of talking to girls, you got to be turned on. Like if you go out and it's a job, there's something wrong. I mean, going out and talking to girls, if it feels, and I see so many guys do this, they go out, they've been going out for months on end and they've turned it into a job. I have to go out, I have to talk to so many girls, I have to get these men numbers, I have to get this, and if I don't get this, and they've lost that spontaneity and that fun. Do you run into guys like that?
I'll tell you, I had a guy, bless his heart, who was dead sincere, and for 2 years he went out every day, every weekend. He kept an Excel spreadsheet, and he showed it to me. And he had 3,000 exactly to the point, 3,000 rows in that spreadsheet of girls he approached. And he put down the corner where he approached them, all the details across in the spreadsheet, the responses he got. In that 2 years, in 3,000 approaches, he got 3 phone numbers, 1 date, 0 intimate experiences in 2 years. Yeah. And I'm thinking, and I said, well, I go, what? So I went out with him. He says, you can come watch me. I'll take a little, earpiece. And so I said, okay, I'll follow along. So I'm like walking half a block behind him. And in his apartment, when I was talking to him, he was engaging, interesting background, cool guy, well dressed, got a cool job, good looking guy, and articulate and funny. And I'm thinking, what if this guy was in my house in Bucharest? All the girls would love him. He's a great guy. And
This
this
is
is, and
we both know this guy.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I was thinking of the bald head, Miami. So I don't want to
No,
say.
no, no, no. This is different. I'm not saying any city, so it's not recognizable. But it wasn't him. Anyway, we get out on the street, and he's so personable in person. And I'm thinking, this guy, what the heck? And he gets out on the street, and he walks up to the girls on the corner, and he stops them, and they pull out their headbuds, and they're looking like this, and he turns into this raging, weird, red-faced, fierce, wooden, leaning back, chopping sentences at her guy. I said, what? He said, well, that's what I was taught from the pickup arts community. I'm like, where's the guy that's in your apartment that's being cool and being normal and hanging out? And that's a cool guy. All the girls I know would love him. And he could not, and we went out the next day too. He couldn't do it. He couldn't break that pattern. And I'm like taking him by the lapel. I'm like, listen, stop. I go right in the middle of it. Say, excuse me, girl. Listen, you're doing it again. Relax, put this, now talk to her again. And it took him that entire weekend to break that mold of him trying to do his job, adding another line to the spreadsheet. I did my 50 approaches this week, so I'm good now. And not one of them, not one was a connected thing. And all the girls that I saw in that weekend were leaning away from him going, what are you saying? But I have to go like this and getting away as fast as he could. 100%.
And it's fascinating. I heard you tell the story before, and I think about it because it's fascinating because I've met so many guys like this. They'll come to you after. I remember one guy came to me. He'd been studying hardcore, this type of stuff for 7 years. And he was the weirdest, strangest, most bizarre, had this weird body mechanics and walked funny because he'd been taught how to walk, talk, stand, carry, and it was all in his head. So he had this world of how to be cool from his head. And now he was super strange. And what I find is it's like this guy you're talking about. Here he is going out every day for how long did you say?
2 years.
2 years. 50 approaches a week?
I don't know, but he had 3,000.
3,000?
Exactly 3,000. He quit at 3,000 said, I'm going to call Zan.
No, that's exactly why it was so hard for him to change. He is now ingrained such a bad habit. All these neural pathways are built in his brain and his nervous system. You ask him to suddenly be spontaneous. Oh my God, how do I do that? I've been doing this for how long? How do I stop doing something I've ingrained into my body so deeply? And how do I just become normal again? Which is what we're teaching. I always see that the work we're doing, and we're going to be doing something in Miami together pretty soon. It's all about that whole event is all about helping guys stop doing all this weird stuff and just starting to be normal again.
There's so many guys that I talk in person and they're hanging out in my apartment or I meet them and think, be this guy right here. Be that guy. Show up like this. Yeah, that's a cool guy. The girl's going to love you.
Yeah.
And they get out there and they turn into some other persona because they think they have to. And it's incredible.
How about this one? How many guys do you run into that are really attractive and women get attracted to them and they don't know it, they can't see it, and they're constantly rejecting the women, not realizing they're rejecting the women and walking away from them, wearing the women don't like them?
A ton.
Yeah.
Every time I do, for instance, my customer experience where I take 2 students and I walk around them for 4 or 5 days, right? All the girls I know meet him and say, why is he here? Why is he here? Like, he seems like he's, there you go. But in the guy's mind, he can't see it. He can only see his own insecurities, his own quote unquote failings. And it's shocking. If they could only see themselves the way others see them, they think, well, that's pretty cool, actually. I don't.
Yeah. Women like men. You said this years ago on your one of your DVD series videos. You said and this is one thing in there that just rang in my mind, and I thought about it over and over and over. And I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember your exact words. Maybe you do, but you said that women, in some way, shape, or form, you said just by the nature of women being women, and men being men, they need men. They need men in their lives. They need men. And I don't remember how you said it, but I remember I thought about that and I was like, it's true. What if all the men disappeared? And then I thought about something. that Brent Smith said years ago. He said, he was on stage and he said, if all the guys in the world just stopped chasing women altogether all at once and just kicked back and said, I'm not going to chase anymore, what would happen? And you put those two ideas together and you really realize that that we're creating it all as men, as a whole. We're creating all our own problems.
Yeah, no question. No question.
So what would you say to a guy? Well, I want to go back to that other topic. There was something I was thinking about. I remember I was with a guy once, just so guys out there can get an example of this. I was with a guy once. He was almost a male model. Actually, in a weird sort of way, he was about 6'4", so he was almost better looking than your typical male model, but really rock solid jaw, just bigger, huge guy, muscles, but not too big. And he walked into this deep voice, masculine. We walked in this bar, and he said, girls don't like me. And I said, wait a minute, just by the nature of your voice, your tone, your groundedness, your solidness, all you have to do is kind of stand there and be nice. Girls are going to like you because you're a solid guy. And I said, he walks up to this girl, and I said, just show me. He walks up to this girl, starts chatting with her for a minute, and then he comes back, so see, she didn't like me. And I go, wait a minute, I'm confused because I'm looking at her like you were talking about, and the girl's obviously interested. And I said, what did she say? What did she say to you? What did you say to her? Well, I was just chatting with her, and then she finally looked at me, and she goes, I think you're a player, and I'm not going to sleep with you. And I said, what? And he said, yeah. So I left. And I laughed. I was like, and I said, so I got a question for you. Did you even bring up sex or anything? No, I was just trying to be nice. And she said that to you. Yeah. So I was like, okay. And I realized he just couldn't see it. He couldn't see the obviousness. And so many guys can't. They can't see the obviousness of that statement. And do you hear people come back with stuff like that a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I think what a lot of the problem is there's no awareness of the way we show up. We can't put a perspective of the other person looking at us or viewing us, and we think we suck because that's what we've been told internally or by our parents or by past abandonments, and we think we suck, and that's our default, and we can't see anything else. And when someone shows up and says, "Well, you don't," in their body language, which she was saying, a girl that says to you, "You're a player, and I'm not gonna sleep with you," you're in. That girl likes you. That's the way it works, man. Any girl that's like, well, this is what I think about you. You're in.
Yeah.
You are in 100%. Anyway, but we don't. True. It's true. Because I'll tell you, this is an interesting thing. Nobody knows this. If a girl that you talk to is not interested in you, she'll quietly say to you, I'm not interested, or I'm married, or it'll be a quiet thing. If she's loud and animated saying, you know what, but you think blah, 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 she likes you. Yeah, the ones who are seriously not interested, say it quietly and calmly.
And I'm looking at these statements, the comments, based on what I just said. And one guy just wrote, that's why I glanced over here. So I like to be present when people talk, so every once in a while I glance at the statements. And one guy wrote, I have to admit, I would have been confused by that statement too. And can you give your interpretation of that statement? You kind of just did, but I was just going a little deeper. I think you're aware.
Anytime a girl says something like that, like, you think you're this and I'm not going to sleep with you because that girl completely likes you. You can relax at that moment and laugh. Really? Okay, I agree with you. Agree and make it worse. That's why I always say, if a girl ever challenges you and says, you know what, I think you blah, 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 because I saw you talking to those other girls, now you're talking to me. You agree and make it worse. Any girl that challenges you like that, you say, really? I did that? I was talking to those other girls. Where are they again? Oh, there they are. Yeah, of course I'm talking. Look, they're cute. Now I'm talking to you. If you can't do that, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Any girl that challenges you like that, who's animated as she challenges you and going like this, you're in 100%.
So, and I want this guy to think about it a little bit. This guy wasn't talking about sex at all, and even if he was, it wouldn't matter. But let's bring it because it just makes the point stronger. She brought up the topic of sex. She called him a player first.
Exactly.
He didn't say, go out with me, sleep with me, anything. She brought it up.
Exactly.
And so
that's on her mind.
What's on her mind? That's called flirting. That's called playing.
I would say
And
to her immediately, I would say, well, you got a dirty mind. Get your mind out of the gutter, girl. I'm just talking nice and normal to you. I would play along. It's fantastic.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. I also want to visit another comment that was up here. We were just talking about really good looking guys, right? And what about ugly guys that do good with women? This guy asked. And this guy probably is not ugly, but that's what he's asking. I find a lot of guys that think they're ugly aren't necessarily ugly. But what do you think of that? I saw because we had a video. Remember our first video we did on that balcony?
yep.
So a piece, of course, people project what they want to see. And so this guy wrote in one of the comments, I remember it from years ago, or a few years I read it, and he wrote, Johnny Depp and Jason Statham, of course they can get women, but what about the average guy? First off, I grew up looking terrible. I was so in my head. I think I look a little like Jason Statham because I get it a lot. That's the only reason people say that, but I don't have his body. Not even fucking close to that guy's body. So, and I used to be fat. I'm bald. I was big forehead. You know, I could come up with a million reasons I don't like myself. But I've had clients that were 5'2", killing it with women. I've had clients 5'2", fat, bald. You know, you name it. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah. It's completely the spirit and the energy that a man gives off. Absolutely 100%. And I learned this way early, and it's never failed. It's never shifted or never thought, well, the women will ooh and ah and coo and talk in the bathroom about the good looking guy over in the corner there. But if he's got no energy of personality or any kind of sparkle in him at all, they lose interest immediately. So they'll look at the calendar with the firemen on it, you know, the shirts off. Oh, but they're not. But they have nothing. They have no further attraction than that initial ooh and ah. If there's nothing that gets their mind racing, gets their heart racing, there's nothing there, then it's just a guy. And instantly the attraction is lost as soon as he opens his mouth, or as soon as he's trying to, you know, he comes in or he's trying to be cool or something like that. They lose interest immediately. So there's an initial ooh and ah that the women have, just like, you know, I might have initial ooh and ah over a Lamborghini, and as soon as I start driving, I'm like, this is terrible. You know what I mean? But for sure, what women are attracted to, what they're drawn to, and what they love, and what they can't stop thinking about when they're laying in their bed at night and working the next day, and they've got their pencil and they're looking out the window and they're daydreaming, is the guy who can spark a little bit of mystery in them, a little bit of potential in them, a little bit of out of the side of the eye mischief to them, and is fun and comfortable in his body. Yeah, he's 5'2", he's a little dumpy, but he loves life. He loves the energy of it. He loves the fact that he just met this girl. He loves the spirit of it. He loves the music that's playing here, and he loves the moment. And he's good with the whole experience in the moment. That's saying something very, very deep and profound in a very short and shallow way, but it's absolutely correct. It's the spirit.
Yeah.
It's the spirit of a man that women can't stop thinking about. Not his looks. It's not the looks that a woman daydreams about. Never. It's his voice and the vibration of his voice and the vibration of his eyes and the way he leaned in, the way he smiled, and it's his energy that women are daydreaming about.
The rhythm he creates, like going
Better
back to the
believe it.
beginning of the talk, the rhythm he creates while flirting. And he creates a rhythm and that rhythm is like you talked about, and I've seen you talk about before, is almost like an in and out motion, right? It's like the precursor to sex. There's an in and an out to it, and an in and an out to it. And just like sex is fucking is in and out ultimately.
Yeah.
But you're starting out with this slow in and out motion in your energy and the way you communicate. Is that not correct?
Everything is that way. Everything is exactly is an in and out. We were with my guys in New York last week, and my girlfriend was with us, and we came out of some kind of a bar, and we decided to go to a bar near our place, our hotel, and there was a strip club there. So the girls said, let's go to the strip club. So we had a bunch of girls with us. So we go to the strip club, and here's all the girls sitting on the front row, putting dollars in the thing. And I made the guys, you sit back here. And they said, no, we should sit up there. No, you sit back, let the girls give them some fun, let them go. Sit back here. And my guy's tendency with the girl he liked was to go up to her and put his arm around her just to reassure her, I'm still here, but I'm behind you. So I said, no, let her go. And sure enough, And it was against all of his nature because he had to go and like dip in and make sure that she knew. But she kept turning around, smiling and winking at him. And I said, that's a perfect energy. Quit trying to glom onto her and put your arm around her and hold her close and be profound. Let the girl have fun and give her some space. And the
Yeah.
whole point of it is, the reason I brought the story up is because my girl, Deanna, who I adore, is sitting up there and she's like smiling with all the other girls and putting dollars and stuff like that. And every now and then she glances over at me and blows me a kiss, or I blow her a kiss, sort of thing. That's still a rhythm. That's an in and out too. Give
Yeah.
her escape from a distance. And everything about it is honestly, Brian, the whole thing can be broken down into a rhythm of in and out. Even on a date with a girl, you're sitting across from her and you think, well, I'm stuck here, I can't be, but you're still your voice and your energy is like, you go in and say, wait a minute, you live in San Francisco. Hey, I was in San Francisco one time. Let me think of it. There is a story, and you're out here. It's an in and out, in and out. You're gathering fresh energy to bring in. I don't know how else to say it, but it's definitely your voice is that way too. You say something into her neck, like vibration, low, 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 low. And then you say, and also, here's something else I'm going to say to you. Wow, wow, wow. It's
Yeah.
like, if you stay in there, it's too contained. But if you go out and escape and look over here and say, yeah, and I also thought of something else. Wait, can I tell you this too? Wow, 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 wow. Your voice goes down again. And there's even your voice does this. Boom, boom, boom. They can feel it.
And
Incredible.
so what most guys do, and if you notice this, and I want to see what you think about this, is what most guys do is they want to go in, they never stop going in. They keep, when they get something that works, let's say it works a little bit, then they keep doing that thing because it's usually an inward motion that works. Like I showed some attention, I gave her some validation, whatever, and then I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to keep pounding on one note, and I'm going to pound that note, and I'm going to pound that instead of backing up. Like this worked. Now let me back up and enjoy her response and let her come to me. Or this got her feisty. So now I gotta do something about it. Now or you could back up and just wait and let it all settle and watch what she does. And because as long as you're creating an emotional, not logical, emotional response out of her, something's going on. Within reason.
Yeah.
Something's going on. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely. Imagine saying something strong into her neck and then sitting back and just smiling and holding the tension. Just sit there. We're trying to feel
she might get mad, she might get playful, she might laugh, she might come at you with a little feisty energy. All of that is decent. All that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, any of it's good.
Yeah.
Because our normal thing is to sit here, we're on the day we would, and we say, so tell me more about you. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that before, but I've traveled a lot, and we just blah, blah, blah.
I got a question for you with that. This is really good. So tell me more about you. Where you're from. Do you think you could take if we said we're going to give you those basic questions, and can you get a girl attracted using those questions but changing the energy of them?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of guys think it's the words. So you're saying those words, and they're going, "Oh, don't use those words." And I don't think that's what you're saying. What you're saying is don't be the guy.
Yeah.
So what's the
difference? You could give me a script, and I can still turn it into an energetic, fun little ease and delight, making fun of myself type of energy. Yeah.
Okay. So if you were to take those basic questions, what do you do for a living? Where are you from? How would you make that more fun than the average guy does? How would your energy be different?
That's a good question. Because I know I would, and I just got to think if I can illustrate that here. It'd be more like if you said you had to ask her where she's from and where she went to school, then how would I do that? I would like everything to me is a spontaneity. Spontaneity sounds cool to me, and like I talk in my book about the surprise gift where the waitress comes, you're like, "Wow, this is for me," like a spontaneity, right? Even though you saw her 10 minutes before. And so it's kind of the same thing. It's like everything's an afterthought that I say. Kind of, it's like I said, wait a minute, we're in New York. You said you're from San Francisco. Yeah, how long have you been in San Francisco? So it's kind of like a curiosity of in the moment of I don't know. It's different than saying, I think it is. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's different than saying, so where are you from again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's an aliveness in it. I'm throwing the energy into the air here in a curiosity way. I'm like, wait, what I'm saying over and over again is you came on a date with me. That's cool. You wear the little dress for me. That's cool. Now, what can I ask? Oh yeah, where are you from? And I throw it up here as opposed to boom, 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 boom.
Versus, so where are you from? Very analytical, business-like,
Very
which is what most
interviewing.
people
Yeah.
are. Right? And then that,
Yeah.
like you just did it. Oh, where are you from? Oh my God, look at you. There's something like I gotta get to know you. Where are you
Animated.
from?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Animated. Because the truth is, I'm excited she came on Dave because I like her. She's cute. And I can't think of anything better than to be doing right now. So that's in my voice and my spirit. And a guy might be feeling that, but he doesn't say it because he wants to be interesting or quiet or cool.
so what you're saying is, and this is, correct me if I'm getting this wrong, is you're saying animated or very penetrating in the way he says it. Because you're switching between animated, almost
Yeah,
expressive, and emotional, and penetrating, right?
exactly.
And
The whole
not
thing,
just not flat.
exactly. Because here's what it is, guys. A girl that goes on a date with you, I don't care if you got her from Tinder or you met her on the street or whatever, you introduced from somebody else. You represent her escape from her accountant job, from her parents that are oppressing her, from her studies that she's buried underneath her exams trying to do. You represent her escape, and and if you can represent the energy that she's like, wow, I can go there and be and have fun and have a vibrant spirit, and he's not being serious, he's not being profound, he's just being this fun, great, beautiful energy. She will try and escape into your energy, yours into you as often as you can. That's what it is, because everyone has everyone is sad. Everyone has something that's a burden on their heart today or recently. Everybody has something that they're battling with. Everybody has something they're really concerned about. And you represent the escape from that. And if you can represent that escape, she'll think, wow, what a great date I had with a great guy. And so to me, that's what it is. It's like you lead the interaction by saying, we could talk about all this like mundane, boring stuff, but let's enjoy the look. The sun's out. Let's look at each other. You wear a little dress. This is cool to me, and you bring it to that level because what else is there? I'm saying a lot.
Yeah. No, you're saying great stuff. I do want to ask you. I got one more question I want to ask you, and then I want to start taking questions from the audience here. I see several questions I've already read that I kind of want to play with. At least one of them in particular standing out. Unfortunately, I can't get to everybody's questions because there ends up being more questions than I can answer.
Can I say one thing, Brian?
Sure.
Because some guy wrote here your first name, which is everybody on here, said, "Is the spirit the awareness and the ability to see and flirt with life, but focusing on the woman and choosing to flirt with her?" That's beautifully said. That's exactly what it is. You are flirting and loving life, loving the moment, skipping your step today, and she's part of it now. And you're sharing that with her and focusing on it. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, and I think you said it earlier. She's escaping into you. You're not escaping into her. Most guys are trying to
Absolutely.
escape woman's reality, and we're the tree trunk, we're the riverbed, we're the mountain. They're the wind beating on the mountain, playing with the mountain. They're the water in the riverbank. They're the branches and the leaves flowing, and that's what they want. And unfortunately, if you look in a bar, and I've sat there and I've watched, most guys are walking around the bar trying to figure out how to get into some woman's reality in the bar, and all the women are closing their realities because every guy's trying to get into their reality. So it's actually the polarity in most bars is reversed
Good point.
from what it should be, and the dynamics. And you have to be the one guy that can reverse that polarity in the room, and those girls will appreciate you.
Yeah.
And that's the trick. Can you get in that bar and see all these bubbles these girls are creating? Stop trying to get into them, but in a sense, almost get them to want to chase your reality. What's the key to that? How do you do that? That's the key. Do you pop the bubble in a certain?
Yeah.
Are you going to pop? Some guys are great at popping the bubble, triggering something, and then pulling back so the women keep focusing on them. And I've seen you do that many times. You're very good at that. And so it almost makes the energy all come towards that person who popped the bubble in the right way. But this penetrating energy we were just referring, I always hear you talk about the big energy and the flowing and the playful, but you're really good at this penetrating energy. Like you come in and it's like big energy, and then boom, you penetrate them really deep with something you say, an eye contact, the way you move. And can you talk about that a bit? Because I don't know that I've ever really seen you talk about that too.
Yeah. Because I have this notion that there's a higher energy, which is us being curious and fun and humorous
Yeah.
and engaging and empathy and all this beautiful, But there's also the lower vibrating energy, which comes from our center and goes down into the earth and goes and hits the ground and vibrates the earth beneath her feet, sort of thing, right? And both halves at the same time are fantastic. Like, to be integrated in both. Most guys are all upper energy, just talking fast and trying to be interesting up here. And then some guys are lower energy and they're creeps because they have no charm. They're just all vibrating lower, going to bend you over energy. And I'm kind of upper energy, saying fun stuff and including Brian. This is my friend Brian. Yeah, redhead. Come here, best guy, Brian. Come here, meet these crazy girls. So like it's a kind of an upper energy. But my conspiracy, which I believe is saying a lot. But I have a conspiracy with the girl I like. That out of the corner of my eyes, she can feel it. I'm vibrating in this way, and I'll say something to her out of the side of my mouth into her neck, where like a penetrating thing that he said, and I'll say something. We'll say we're gonna go to the blah 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 because everybody here is fun and cool, but not you, right? You're kind of a bad girl, and it's for her only, and it's a vibration, and so, but it's kind of a secretive thing with me and her. So I go in and I'll say something strong, but I give her escape. It's the same with eye contact. I don't sit there and like stare at a girl like this. Where's the camera? There. Because I'm too intense. Like I'll go in, I'll look at her like this. Wait. Yeah, I like you. So I give her escape constantly, which is the same thing as the in and out with the rhythm.
Yeah, so you penetrate really hard, you go in deep, and then you pull back and let her breathe. In the sense, you get your space to take it out, and then you go back up again, and then when it's time's right, you come back in again.
I'm like a vulture or like an eagle that goes boom, and then flies away. You got to fly away, otherwise it's too overwhelming.
I'm going to give one, and before I switch to these questions, I want to give one example of that I saw you do, and I brought it up before. We were at that salsa club. I don't remember me giving this example. And there was a girl, we were leaving the salsa club, getting ready to leave. And there was a girl sitting by the door on the stool by herself, probably with friends or something. And you walked over to her, and I'm going to have to paraphrase a little bit because I don't remember the exact words you started with, but that was the upper energy. It was this fluid upper. Oh my God, how are you? Are you having a good time tonight? Look at you. And then that's the upper energy. And then you leaned in, penetrated really good. And you said, now you be careful because some guy's going to try to fuck you tonight. Don't let him try to fuck you. Don't let him fuck you. And then you pulled back and laughed and you kind of walked off. And then she laughed. And then a few minutes later you came back and you were, hey, how are you? Big energy, upper energy. And then you dove in again with the
penetrating. That's exactly what you did.
And with the second time you said, so some guy tried to fuck you yet? You watch out. Some guy's going to try to fuck you. And then you pulled back out again. And gave her space again.
Because that to me is fun. Just like that's saying something really intense and strong, but it's fun, and it's like the energy of it is like, did I just say that? And she's like, did you just say that? Did I say that? That was Brian, maybe. That's fun. That's how I do it. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I've told it before, but I never quite told it in that way, where there's the big energy you started with, then you went to the penetrating energy, then you went back out to the big energy, and then you came back and did it again. And it was really powerful.
That's funny.
I
remember that now. I do it all the time.
It was hilarious. So, and it was a good night. So somebody put in here, they asked about how you use, what did you say? Let's just find that one. It's one that I think is important and you have some experience with because you have an awesome relationship. And he talked about how do you use this. I'm gonna see if I can find the right words, but you can just go ahead and start talking about it, paraphrase it. How do you use this information, this energy in a long-term relationship with love? How do you use it to create love? That's what.
How to create love or to sustain?
I'm trying to find the words he used. I'm trying to remember the word. So probably create and sustain, I would imagine. I've lost your comment.
The answer is this. I'm in a relationship for 6 years with Deanna, my fiance, girl I adore, and I'm the same spirit. Like I still represent in my mind escape for her because so when she arrives into the room, I've been here 6 years. We live together, and she goes away for 4 hours. She comes back. I have the same delight to see my girl again as when I first saw her, and it shows up in my eyes like it's 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 the same thing as the girl that I talked to at the bar that I said, better watch out. Somebody's gonna, you know, same thing. I have the same upper energy and same vibratory energy to my girl. And when we go out or in our house, um, I'm not saying that mundane life doesn't get crowding in, and I've got a deadline for some newsletter I've got to send out, and I say, Deanna, listen, not now. I'm busy. Go away. Leave me alone. That happens, but there's it's I see no disparity between the time you first meet a girl on the street or in a bar or whatever, and the way you are to her going on dates with you. It's the same spirit. To her coming to your place, same spirit. To her getting in your bed with you, same spirit. To her the next morning when you wake up, same delighted, look at you, crazy girl, spirit. To being in a relationship for 6 months, same thing. Or not seeing the girl again for 3 years and you see her again for the first time, a girl you've known in your past, same thing. You just, none of that changes. Your relationship or not. I'm the same with, and the guys from the Castle Experience last week said, the way you interact with Deanna is we're all going out in bars and this kind of stuff and meeting girls and stuff. And Deanna's over there. And all the guys are talking to her, and you're talking to all these girls, but there's nothing. He said, it's remarkable the connection you have that's completely unbroken because I just drop little seeds, which is like a little wink at her. Hey, baby, I see you. Or she's walking by and say, hey, come here, come here, come here. Same thing, vibration in her neck. Deanna, come here, come here. Listen, you're the hottest girl here tonight. Go, 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 go. Let the guys look at you. You see? Those little tiny attentions, it's the same thing I'm doing to the girls I just met. Same me representing escape, me going in and out, same vibrating in her ear, letting her go. That's what I do. I'll vibrate in a girl's ear, something, doesn't matter what I say. Where do you live around here? Yeah, really? And I let her go. Something like that. Incredible.
So how does that work? Because I don't think we've ever asked this. You've talked about that before, and I think that's a fantastic advice. I think it's exactly right. It's like keeping the date alive, keeping the dating energy alive, the flirting energy, the newness alive. What about the day to day? Like you're just hanging out at the house. You're going grocery shopping together.
Yeah.
You're spending a lot of time together. How do you handle the day?
I'll tell you a secret. Nobody knows this. I never hear this. Because people think in a relationship you have to give her attention, like buy her flowers now and then, or leave her a little note or do this kind of. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. It's too much work. I'm like, you don't have to have a hot air balloon ride with your girlfriend, once a year, or do these grand gestures, buying her a bunch of roses. I promise you that none of that matters at all. What matters is the tiny little attentions on a day-to-day basis with your voice, not showing her with your actions. And this is what we think, okay, they think it's better to show with their actions that I really, really love my girl, put my arm around her. What's more important is to say it with your words, to say, and here's the secret of it. In relationship, if your girl feels that remember this, if your girl feels that you are proud of her, you're proud of who she is in the world, she will let you have anything in life. You can flirt with girls, doesn't matter. If she knows that you are proud, that's my girl, and I'm proud of her. I'm proud of what she's trying to do in the world. And you do that with little tiny attentions all day long. She's walking by with the laundry. You talk about mundane. She's walking by the laundry, and you say, sweetie, and you're on your computer or whatever. This is how my life looks. Anyway, I say, sweetie, listen, I just want to say I appreciate that, you're doing the laundry. And she's such a sweetheart for doing that, because I'm sitting here on the computer and, and I don't do that kind of stuff. And you just little tiny moments of appreciation and honoring her and letting her be seen. I'm constantly telling Deanna, baby, you're such a hottie. You're the hottest girl here tonight. And because it's true. And that energy just gives her a little tiny twitch in her stomach, and she becomes more bouncy, more flirty, more alive, and she can wander off. You don't have to you'll never see me in a bar with my girl. Like a lot of guys, and they got their arm around the girl. This is my girl. And they're walking around with her to show everybody this is my girl. Never do that. Go, get away from me. I'm trying to talk to these girls. Get out here, Deanna. Wait, come back. Come here, come here, come here. I'll introduce you to these girls. That it's a beautiful, beautiful, non-disconnected energy, and it's tiny little attentions all day long that make her feel like she's the lily above all the lilies of the field.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And that goes back to your saying, beauty needs a witness.
Yeah. And that goes back, Brian, to remember this is a girl in a relationship, but it's the same thing to the girl you just met.
Yeah.
Your whole voice and your eyes and your smile go, look at you. How come I haven't seen you before? Who are you? Come to my life.
How many guys stop witnessing their girl after they get together with her? They stop seeing the beauty in her. They stop inspiring her to dress up for her. I mean, does your girl inspire to want to keep dressing up for you, or does she lose interest in that because you're not seeing?
Yeah, how many guys will say to the girl, she's going to go out with her girlfriends, you can't wear that, and they're all mad because she can wear a little dress.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's the first time saying, come on. Because
by the way,
girl doesn't feel like she's seen and sexy.
My bracelet broke.
No, sorry.
Beauty needs a witness bracelet that I had from you. It broke. Go ahead. Yeah. I need another one. But yeah, if she doesn't see all that, she doesn't feel you seeing her, witnessing her all the time, because that's your job. You're the masculine. Masculine, part of the masculine isn't just stability. Somebody wrote that. That is true. Yeah. Another part of the masculine is penetrating, but another big part is witnessing. Is the ability to be the witness. And,
if your girl doesn't feel young and pretty in your presence, you'll lose her. And she will, and in the time you're with her, she will make your life miserable.
Yeah.
That's the truth. If she's still young and pretty.
I'm going to ask one question I think is a real I think it needs to be distinguished. And I'm going to go back to another question from the chat here is, what's the difference between a guy witnessing women remember, there's always two. I always see that. I think this needs to always be distinguished. I'm a needy guy witnessing women. I'm needy. I'm like, I need her validation. So I'm going to tell her she's beautiful to get something from her, versus the guy who is solid, doesn't need her validation. Doesn't mean he doesn't enjoy it. Doesn't mean he doesn't enjoy her company and her femininity, right. But he doesn't need to be a man. And then he compliments her. What's the difference between those two guys? Because a lot of guys will hear this, they run out and they're immediately like, I'm just going to compliment every girl, and they're looking for constant validation. Yeah. So I want to
the difference between that and what I do, I think, is that I just learned to speak what is real for me. And I've learned this over years of trying to be the seducer, you know. There was a time back in the day when the newspapers called Zan the world's greatest seducer. And I spent years trying to become this guy who could talk to women a certain way and be smooth. And I throw it all away. I've thrown it all away. And because what is great is just plain speaking. And so my compliment of a girl is just how I feel. It's what I see in you. And I'm gonna say this. You know what? You're an absolutely beautiful girl. I'm gonna say that to you. Hello, friends. This girl's pretty. To me, she's beautiful. As opposed to saying a compliment to get something in return. If I compliment her, well, you have nice eyes. If she's heard all her life, then maybe she'll like me. And the difference is a compliment that comes from me, it lands and I leave it there. If that makes sense. It's like I hit the ball in her court. She can do what she wants with the ball, you know. As opposed to waiting for it to come back. I'm waiting for my serve to come back. I served it. You can hit it back and let's go. Or you can just let it sit on the ground and you can walk away. That's okay too.
I've seen you do that almost to the extreme. And this is an interesting exercise. I've never thought about this for guys as just an exercise. Is you'll throw something out, and then I've seen you almost sometimes turn away before they can almost even say something back, and almost like not let them respond, and I can see guys who have this need for validation. If they did that as a little bit of an exercise, just walk away before they can even respond, just so you can practice letting go. Then that can be really powerful.
A huge exercise for guys to be able to just walk up to a girl, and I've said this for years. It's in my old DVDs from way back in 15 years ago. If you just walk up to a girl and say, as you're walking through a bar, for instance, you stop and look at a girl and say, you know what? You're true beauty. You look beautiful in your green dress. And turn her and walk away. And I've done that with exercise, and walk away for an exercise of leaving something there, of giving and not asking for something in return. What a great thing that is. Guys, so how do you get a number? I'll tell you the secret of this. If you're that guy that can make a compliment and walk away, okay? Um, and I've done this exercise with guys, and I say, okay, this is what I want you to do. Do exactly this. Go up and watch me how I do it to this girl. Now you to the next girl, you do that same thing, and they'll go, "You look so beautiful." And as they're walking away, they're looking behind them like this, waiting for some. Maybe she's gonna smile or something. Turn and go. Turn your face and go. And they say, well, how do you get phone numbers of that? If you are the guy who's saying truth like that, who's smiling and waving, and all the girls as they walk by, hello, hello, we're just saying hi to pretty girls as they walk by, let them go. Or you can say something to a girl as you walk by. You're such a beauty. I want to say that you're a beautiful girl, and keep walking. Instead of getting phone numbers, you get abundance.
Yep.
Abundance becomes your experience. What a huge difference. You have abundance around you, and women are in your life, and feminine energy, and phone numbers fall from the trees all around you.
Yep.
It's incredible. Abundance is what you're looking for rather than that target.
Let's say you go through a bar and you're giving out compliments like that. I love that dress, great scarf. You're just walking away from people and you're being complimentary and you're not looking for anything in return. And then you sit down somewhere, like as you walk through the bar, maybe you did that 3 or 4 times here or there. Maybe you did it to some girl 2 or 3 times. You walk by, hey, still looking good in that green dress. And then you walk by again, just like, that's somebody fuck you guy. And then you sit down. How many of those girls suddenly are sitting next to you, bumping into you, walking by you, smiling at you, winking?
It's abundance. A ton. And I'll tell you this, here's what's cool about it. If you say to a compliment girl as you're walking by, a compliment, and you say, you know what, I just have to say you look beautiful in your green dress. I just want to say that. And you walk away. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you see this girl again anywhere in bar that circulates, for instance, she will smile at you. She'll engage with you. You can wave at her again. Come here, talk to me. But I didn't get your name. You can say that now. Your second quote unquote approach.
And now she's trying to,
because you're not hang around guy. The opposite of that is if you walk up to the girl and say, you know what, you're really beautiful in your green dress. Can I buy you a drink? And how long do you live here? And do you live? You're hang around guy. Yeah. And the difference is, and guys say, what if I never see her again? Yeah, that could happen, but you have abundance. This is the difference. As opposed to like, I can't lose this girl. You have abundance because this is who you are, representing yourself in a party or a lounge or art galleries and that. You're smiling and engaging, dropping little seeds everywhere. I call it the non-approach approach, right? And you become, the energy of you becomes felt as this guy who says what he believes, because it's true. You're a pretty girl, and can wander off through life again, knowing that abundance comes back around.
I think that's one of the most powerful things, because then now a lot of the girls are smiling at you, directing energy at you, curious about you. Maybe they smile as they go by. Maybe they wink at you.
They will if you didn't hang around.
But how many other girls are noticing all this other energy coming at you too that maybe you didn't even speak to? And so so maybe you don't end up meeting this one girl, but then 3 other girls notice because of it.
Exactly. And so you'll have all the girls smiling at you if you're that guy who smiles and winks, walks around, doesn't hang around and try and buy drinks and be this glom on guy and try and escape her away from her herd of girls. It's the pickup artist, try and get her isolated. Not that guy.
You really have to be in your body and feeling, and you have to understand the difference between logic and emotion. This is another important topic of mine. I've been thinking about a lot lately. Is you can't use logic to seduce a woman, and so many guys try. They run around. They think I'm gonna figure out the most logical method to seduce a woman and do it to her, and it will never work. I don't know of any woman on this planet that's been seduced by logic as of yet. The only woman that's probably been seduced by logic was the hooker that you paid because she got a payment and a logical discussion about a payment, and then you paid her, and then that was it, job done. And that doesn't even really count as seduction. Okay.
No. What's interesting, Brian, is like guys who taught for years. I remember back in the seduction community days, how to make out with a girl on the dance floor, how to get in makeout mode, how to get her sitting on a couch in the lounge and start making out with her. I think it's the worst thing you can possibly do is start making out with a girl. Because imagine this, you get some drunk girl who kind of likes you and stuff, and then you start flirting with her, and she starts to kiss you and making out with you, and you start to go like, the terrible phrase they used to use in seduction community days, tongue her down. And you get into this, and all of a sudden her girlfriends come up, after half an hour of this and say, it was nice to meet you. We got to go, and scoop her up and gather and drag her out. And now you straighten up your tie and look around and look at it. Okay, who else is here? Every girl saw that.
Yeah.
Every girl saw you like glomming onto this girl. And now you're going to, oh, okay, I'm still learning. Who else can I talk to? That's why it's like you drop these little seeds and you don't get all profound and deep with one girl. It's not the place to do it. Anyway.
Yeah, I find if you go too far to any extreme, like it's going to go wrong. There's this to everything. There's that rhythm, right? There's the happy middle, and guys get something that works. They go too far to one extreme, or they're too scared and they go too far to the other extreme, and they're never playing in that middle, that rhythm, that feeling. And it's all about emotion and feeling. Women get seduced through emotion. Dave always likes to say, Dave Stoltz, my partner, likes to say emotional drug dealer. It's all about creating emotion and playing with emotion. And if you can't create emotion in your own body, you're not going to create emotion in their body. And that's what you're talking about. You're a big emotional machine. You're giving out emotions like crazy: curiosity, appreciation, turn on, play, fun, penetration, stuff that creates tension. And then you pull the tension away and then you create more tension. And it's that dance of energy that you're actually demonstrating over and over and over, even on this call. And that's the beautiful part. And so any of you guys that are overly logical, and also this is another piece, is I see guys do this. They start to learn that it's really about emotion and feeling, and then they try to fake the emotions of feeling. And you can't do that either. You've got to actually learn to really feel. You can't pretend to be appreciative. You can't pretend to be curious. You have to learn to be curious and appreciative. The lie is worse than anything. So, because they can feel that incongruency that he doesn't match his emotions. This guy's weird. Yeah.
Curiosity is a choice. You can choose to be curious for sure.
Yeah. So let's take a couple questions. So Law's going nuts with one letters. We're going to have this uploaded to Fearless for the people who want to rewatch. Somebody said this is really profound and I want to rewatch it. So we're going to have this uploaded so you can rewatch it. So obviously, guys really love your work, Zan. Zan, do you feel fear or anxiety when complimenting her? Does it go away when you get used to it?
If you told me to go talk to a table with 3 girls sitting at it, like you were my approach coach, and you said, go talk to those table girls, I'd feel anxiety. I'm like, well, I don't know what to say. I'm like anybody else. I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I don't know. But the way I move through the world, I don't feel fear or anxiety because I don't stick around, number one. And number two, I just say what's on my heart, what I feel. You're a very pretty girl. I just want to say that. And so the fear and anxiety comes from trying to worry about what the follow-up is going to be, I think. A lot of it. Like, how can I continue the conversation and be interesting? And especially if she just kind of like smiles and doesn't really answer me. So because I was so nervous in my 20s and so insecure and so trying to be cool and so not wanting to and so afraid to approach girls, I developed in me this whole non-approach approach, which is just dropping seeds. I approach with my eyes from afar. I look at I nod at girls. I let them know. I flash my eyes at them. I see you. Don't worry, I see you too. And which is way easier and way more fun than walking up and trying to talk to them. So, hang on, sorry guys. So it's for me. I don't get that anxiety because I'm not asking for anything in return. I might have great desire. I might think she's the greatest girl I've seen in the last year, but still my confidence is like, I'm going to say this to you because I think you're a beauty and you're the prettiest girl I've seen in the last year. You do what you want with it. And if you want to engage and you express to me that you're open to you responding in a good way, I'm all over it. I'm right here with you. Let's go. Let's talk. Who are you? So I'm basically just letting things land, and I don't have anxiety because I'm not desperate, or I need something in return to make me feel like that worked in some way. It worked because I showed up.
Cool. That's good. I like that. For a lot of guys, I think that's a very powerful process. They still got to get that same grounded, solid energy when they do it. But once they nail that, then it can be, I think it can be not just an amazing method, but amazingly fun
Yeah,
method.
it's fun. The way I move through a bar sometimes is so fun. And guys that come and cast my experience, like they've already had a ton of instruction, and then they come and they watch the way I move, and they emulate. And for the first time in their lives, I just did it in New York City. And the guy said, in the first day, now I feel what it feels like, because you can't see it on YouTube, you can't see it you can't reread it in your book. We academically understand it, but to feel the energy of it, now I get it, and this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's an
Still want
energy
to
thing.
film doing this, but he says it doesn't work on camera
As
because
soon as I
he,
know there's a camera, I'm like,
huh?
as soon as I
Because
know
he's
there's
such
a
a
camera
feeling
there.
guy. You have so much feeling, you kind of get shy, and that's because you're such a feeling guy. And it's also part of why you're so good with women. I mean, honestly, that's guys think they have to numb out and become rock solid, and there is a truth. Yeah, be rock solid under pressure, or be solid under, but you still got to feel.
You know what you
You
would
know?
need is a hidden camera on me,
Yeah.
like that I don't know about.
Give me
That's somebody.
permission. I'll do that one day when you're not expecting it.
A guy did that one time in Miami. He had these glasses, just looked like these ones, but they had a little camera here, and I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
he was wearing them.
I remember those glasses.
Yeah, remember those?
Yeah, I don't
And
Google.
and they did high definition. I was in Miami with them. We were in this later at 3 o'clock in the morning. We were in the lounge of the W Hotel or something. And these girls, and I started talking to them, blah blah blah, like I do, like you saw. And he turned us on. I completely forgot he was wearing these things, and he
Well, you look
captured
good.
it. And he showed it to me later. I'm like, because nobody's ever captured the way I talk to girls when I think nobody's listening.
You have to ask for that footage. Maybe give them a call and say, "Hey, I want that footage of you of
I
Zan
should
talking."
do it.
And then yeah, it'll be great. Okay. Okay, two quick questions, then we're gonna have to close this out. And I got a couple here I'm gonna look at, and because it's running a little long, but it's really good stuff. Guys are enjoying it. This guy wrote, and this is just a simple one. It's more like it's a question statement. You relate to women, and I'm assuming he means all women. You relate to all women the same way you would if you're wanting to pick them up, even though you're not. That's what he wrote. So this playful
Yeah,
energy. So
everybody
let's
gets a piece of it for sure.
yeah, you meet the barista, you're not attracted to her, but you still do it.
She's
Or
a
a little
woman.
old lady in the corner that's just
Yeah,
handing
she's a woman.
yeah, like the babushkas down handing out flowers,
I'm still
and
sweet to them.
yeah,
I
babushkas
still
are like
represent.
Romania.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, cool. He is actually. I knew this. I just wanted him to state
Because
it
there's
because
still women, and like I'm still a man, and so like I still have that sparkling, winking energy to. I don't care if she's an 80-year-old woman; she's still a woman, and I still represent myself as a man who likes women, and I do,
yes,
and I like the woman who's giving flowers out in the street. I want to buy that for you because this, feels the way it should be. I don't know. So yeah, I
and
have
then
that energy for sure.
and then there's also the energy of if you're doing it to everybody all the time, how easy is it to turn on when you really want to turn it on? It's just there. It's not you have to turn it on. It's part of who you are. Versus,
Exactly.
I'm going to wait till the hottest girl I see, and then I'm going to
And
do
then
it.
smile.
Yeah,
Guys
and then
do
it's
that.
like,
It's incredible.
yeah. But if you're not doing it all day or never doing it, and you're only doing it with attractive women, then it's not going to turn on easily, is it?
Yeah,
You
and
got to
guys
be.
say to me, guys say, well, what if I have low energy because I had a really hard day or something and I don't feel like being smiling,
Somebody wrote
engaging?
a question about that, so that's a good one.
That's okay too. That be represent that whole thing. You could even talk to a girl that's attractive to you and you don't have this smiling, fun, light energy. And you can still say, but you announce it. You say, you know what, I just had a hard day at work, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk to you. And I'm like feeling low energy and kind of dragging my ass here, but you're pretty and I want to say hi. That's a manly thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's a
remember. Do you
good thing.
remember?
And I wasn't
Do
going
you?
to talk to you because I'm really just tired. I don't feel like talking to people, but I thought I would talk to you anyway. I forced myself to talk to you because you're pretty. What a great thing to say.
We had a client, and you've met him. His name is Eddie. I don't know if you remember him.
I remember it.
Short,
Yeah, Fast
short
Eddie.
around. Yeah. He's a great guy. And he talks about that, and because we were talking to him, you don't always have to be happy to make women
Nope.
have a great time. And so he said, "Well, I thought about what you said, so I went out on a date. I met this girl first date, and I walked into the bar, and where we sat down to eat, and she said, 'So how have you been?' And I thought to myself, well, if I tell her everything's great, I'm lying. She says, right now, he said, right now I'm sad. I'm feeling sad today. And
Right. Perfect.
I said, I'm just going to tell her I feel sad today. And he goes, so I looked at her and said, honestly, I'm feeling kind of sad. She goes, oh,
Perfect.
why? And he goes, well, I've just been going through something at work and it's a little rough and I'm feeling a little sad, but I just wanted to be really real with you and honest with you and tell you where I'm at. She goes, oh, you come over here and sit right next to me.
That's
and
the coolest thing I heard.
So he says, I sat down next to her and she grabbed my hand. She held onto it. Why? Because he owned it. He didn't ask her for validation. He didn't ask her to fix him. He said, this is who I am as a man right now.
That's perfect.
So, yeah.
Learn this lesson, guys. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. And this day, he said the day went so well because of it. So that's a lot of stuff. We've actually been going over an hour and I didn't even realize it. It's been a blast. I always love talking to Zan. Cairo, do you want to pop up that information? We have a summit coming up. It's called the Integrated Man Summit. It's coming up in end of November, beginning of December. The information is going to pop up to the right side of the screen here. But it's a summit where there's going to be a lot of great speakers, and we want to invite you guys to this summit. It's like the Fearless Man Live, but with a bunch of different speakers teaching but they're all natural game. I don't even want to call it game. They're just guys who've learned to be real, learned to be men, learned to be human, learned to get into their masculinity. And Zan's going to be one of the main speakers there. I'll be speaking there myself. Dave Stoltz, who's a natural, who's been killing it his whole life because that's how he was born to be, will be there teaching. All the Fearless coaches. Matt Artisan will be there. And he's got his YouTube channel's got over 300,000 subscribers now. You can check out that with him. Yeah, he's killing it on YouTube. They featured him one day and his channel just took off. And Ruando.com or Ruando, he goes online. He has a lot of experience with exploration of sex and sexuality. He'll be there talking. And every one of these guys works on being a normal, masculine, solid, fun human being with women, not using techniques and tricks. And that's how they get women. They get women by being normal. They get women by being the best version of themselves. And that's what this summit's about. That's what we call it the Integrated Man Summit. It's almost like we're at this summit, the goal is to start stripping away everything that keeps you from just enjoying the hell out of women, enjoying and seeing them as beautiful and seeing yourself as a natural masculine complement. So I want to I'll tell you guys that this is an amazing event, and it's normally $397. That's super cheap on the website, and it's only going to be $297 if you sign up on this webinar today. So $297. Is the offer up, guys? I can't see it if it is. Let's see here. I'm going to make sure it's up. Here we go. I hit offer. It looks like it's up. Do you see it?
I don't see it.
Well, let me go over here and just hit it. Okay, I hear it's up according to Dave. He says it's up. So if you guys have any trouble seeing it for any reason, let us know. Zan, is there anything that you want to say or any information you want to give on, like give your website, give some information, and then anything you want to say to the guys in parting on this?
No. Get a copy of my book.
We can talk about that. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah,
go get a copy of my book. Books. I'm sending copies from Romania when I get back there in a week. I sign the book and I send it, and it's completely free to you, except that you just have to pay for the shipping. And if you pay for the shipping, go to alabastergirl.com, and I'll sign a copy of the book and send it to you in the mail, a real copy, physical copy. And you just have to pay for the shipping. So read my book. I would be very happy if you read my book.
I'm going to say what I always say about that book, which is there's a million how-to books out there. His book is not a how-to book. It's a feeling book. You read that book, you will get the feeling of and the emotional internal state of what it feels like, because it'll cause all these emotions to rise in you. That's what it's really, I feel like it's designed to do. And when you get those emotions and those feelings, really note that. Don't read it as how do I do this or turn it into a 6 steps for this. Read it, get the feeling of what it's like to feel turned on, feel excited, feel masculine, and just kind of meditate on that. I sometimes read a chapter or read a paragraph that feels really good, and then I just sit with it. I would sit in coffee shops and read it, and I would start to get really excited by some of the interactions in there that and then I would look at girls and they'd start smiling at me instantly, and I'm like, it's because I'm giving off a certain vibration, and it was so awesome. And when I realized this, I was like, all these other books make you think too much. His book makes you feel. And that's the key. It's a real primer for bringing out the actual seducer out from inside. So it doesn't even need to be read fast. Read it and feel it. Read it and feel it. Read it and journal about a chapter, things that made you feel, not the logic that it made you. It's another thing I've been telling guys to do is read a chapter of your book or read a paragraph or a couple of paragraphs and then journal the feelings and the emotions that come up and what they're realizing about it, not the logic.
That's
so
really
get that
nice.
book.
Thanks for that, Brian.
Yeah, I should do a commercial for you. I'll set one up and do a little long. Sell you a ton of books.
Perfect.
Okay, guys. It was
the
great.
weekend again, and it's in Miami, right?
Yeah, it's in Miami. Yeah, and so yeah, bring everybody out, Deanna. Maybe we'll get Leo out there too. Who knows? And it'll be fun to have him out there. So look forward to meeting you guys in person at the event and having you guys meet Zan in person. Of course, he'll be one of the headlines. And again, did you say everything? Is there anything you want to say in parting, or did we cover that? Since I started ranting.
Good. I'm happy with that. You guys in Miami?
Perfect.
Sign up.
Okay, guys. Sign up because we don't do a lot of seminars this cheap and with this many great speakers. It's a hell of a
I'm
deal.
thinking, wow, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's super cheap for what it is. It's not designed to make money. We were really just paying for the event and giving away a lot for you. So we'll see you guys there, and we'll all hang out, have fun, and I'm sure there'll be some type of VIP dinner or something like that too. We'll figure that all out. Okay, guys, have a beautiful day. It's great talking to you again, Zan, and I'll see you soon in Romania. So, I'll see you in Miami I'll see you in Romania, then Miami. So.
Okay, guys. Adios. Thanks, man. Bye. Thanks, Brian.
Take care, bud.